When I tell people that I have a 3D printer, they very often say something like, "What on earth could you possibly want to print with that?" And the only reasonable answer would be quite a lot of useful stuff. For example, I have recently started this YouTube channel and I have already printed a lot of stuff to help me with that. 3 of those things I want to show you now. If you have a camera, it's very likely that you also have quite a lot of SD cards. Wouldn't it be very nice to have a nice little box to put them all in?
I'll show you how I design such things with SketchUp, but of course you can also download the files from fluxing.de. First I need to know the dimensions of the SD card. Then I open the CAD program SketchUp. The free version will do. It looks something like this. It is important that the unit of the model is set to millimeters. First I draw a rectangle. I click in one corner and draw the rectangle. However, I do not click on the other corner, but I simply enter the desired edge lengths in millimeters and confirm this with the return key. I think we can get rid of the MakerBot build volume now. This should only give you an impression of the size of your model. Simply click with the selection tool and then press delete. Now I activate the push-pull tool. I use it to pull on the surface of the rectangle, turning the 2-dimensional rectangle into a 3-dimensional cuboid. Again, I can simply enter the height, in this case 2 millimeters. This will be the bottom of the box. Now I draw another rectangle. This will later be a card slot. I make it a little bigger in each direction so that the SD card has some room to move. With the move tool, I move the rectangle to the... That was just the edge. So again, select the surface with the selection tool, then move it onto the box with the move tool. The rectangle is still selected, so I can directly copy it with Command-C on the Mac or Control-C on Windows. Okay, that's hard to get into position right now. We'll do that differently. With the line tool, I draw a guideline. The tool now wants to draw more lines, but you can get out of it with the escape key. The rectangle has remained selected the whole time. Now I use the selection tool with the shift key pressed to add the guideline to the selection. Now I hover the mouse pointer over the left corner, copy with Command-C or Control-C. When I then paste it, the copy hangs with its corner from my mouse pointer until I place it somewhere. In this case, at the end of my guideline. I do this a few more times, and I delete the last guideline. Now I use the push-pull tool to pull everything around the rectangle upwards. That's one continuous face. Again, you can simply type in a value. Now the end is shortened a bit with the push-pull tool and the card holder is already finished. The model is exported as an STL file. For this you have to install a free plugin. In the software of the 3D printer, in my case MakerBot, the STL file is imported and can be printed without any modifications. I do this by exporting the file for the printer to an SD card, which then is inserted into the printer and I print from there. That takes about an hour in this case. I have sped it up a little bit. By the way, the black spots aren't meant like that. They were probably remains of black filament sticking to the nozzle. Done.
That was easy, wasn't it? Now, I have a couple of these very cheap tripods. They are very differently made and they are from different brands. This one is Hammer, the one over there is Bonus, but they seem to have all the same, how do you call it? Quick mount plate.
And I have this great Takstar microphone you just heard me through. but I want to have it as close to me as possible, so I'd like to put it on one of these tripods, but it doesn't fit. So we need an adapter. That's what it should look like. I've already finished it, but I'll repeat it here for you to show you how I designed it. Again, I start with a rectangle. With the push-pull tool, the surface is pulled upwards. I enter 2 mm as the distance. Now I pull again with the push-pull tool, but I press the Alt key. This creates a new segment. This part is supposed to be pyramid shaped, so the upper surface should be smaller. For this I use the Scale tool. This allows me to shrink the area. If I press Alt, this can be done symmetrically. I type in the factor 0.7. Now we need the cutout for the foot of the microphone. I think I'll make some guidelines for that. The tools in SketchUp will snap to the middle of a line. This appears as a light blue dot. From there I draw a 10 cm long line to the left and to the right. Well, one of the lines would have been enough actually. With the rectangle tool I click on the end of my guideline. The tool will snap to it. It's a green dot. Then I draw a 20 by 20 mm rectangle, and I use the push-pull tool to raise the edge by 3.5 mm, and then I press the Alt key to raise it again by 2 mm. The upper inner surfaces are pulled inwards with the push-pull tool. Now all unnecessary lines can be erased, but basically we're done. The third part is about the microphone again. This came with a dead cat. However, with a very wide-angle lens, the fur gets into the top of the image. So now we're building a hot shoe extension. This video is already quite long, so I'll speed it up a little. I'll start again with a rectangle. This will be the foot that goes into the shoe, but it will get small ears so that it fits firmly into the flash shoe. I draw guidelines. You can't see them, but the tools snap to their endpoints. The upper part is simply stolen from the last model. I can select a wide area, but now there are a few edges and surfaces too many selected. I take them out of the selection while holding down the Shift key. The part is copied and pasted onto the new model. However, it is now open at the bottom. When I draw along any line, the corresponding area closes. Oh, now I'll add some more material downward. The blue surfaces are inside surfaces. They need to be reversed. Now the shoe is the wrong way around. I could rotate it, but I would rather mirror it. I select it and activate the Scale tool. When I push on one of the buttons in the middle of any surface, my object is compressed, and when I push over the opposite side, it is mirrored. As the scaling factor, I enter -1. But this is difficult to print because of the large overhangs. So I move the shoe and put the model on its side. Now the only thing that's not on the ground is the mast, and because of the bevel it can also print without support. Works.
You see, it's not really difficult to design things and print them with a 3D printer. So if you'd like this video, please press the appropriate button and maybe you'd like to subscribe to this channel. That would help me greatly to get this thing started, and it would help you not to miss any of the great videos that are coming up. For example, next week I will try to turn my camera into a photo trap. Stay tuned, or let's meet you then.